How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with another review, another little side-by-side review, another little collaboration side-by-side review in the form of, let's see if I can remember all this. There's a lot. Other Half and Zagovor Brewing, Russian brewery. It is their Space Soyez sauce, and it is an imperial stout aged in red wine barrels, with soaked birch staves soaked in cognac. And this one over here is a variant with raspberry and cocoa nibs. Did I nail that shit? I'm going to be proud of myself if I did. Other Half's Zagovor Space Soy Sauce, red wine barrel aged imperial stout, conditioned birch staves. That's cognac. Raspberries and cocoa nibs. Oh, shit, son. Sometimes you nail it, sometimes you don't. I did good enough on that one. Anyway, yeah, back with a little bit of collaboration here. Got two bottles, essentially the same beer, a little bit of variance on it. First things first, these beers come courtesy of my buddy Keith. Thank you very much, Keith. Keith is the nicest guy in the history of mankind. He gave me these before he self-imposed a little kind of break from drinking some beers, so it was kind of nice of him to do so. So thank you very much, Keith. Yeah, super excited to give them a roll. So, I mean, I already read the one. You pretty much know what's going on. I think that's all there is on these. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so a little collaboration, brewery never heard of. Obviously, that Zagovor, or Zagovor, that's how you say it. Probably butchering that too. So, let's just line these suckers up. Oh, label-wise, do that whole thing. I like them. You know, this is a little, like, kind of satellite space station-y thing on this one here. This is much the same, but, like, kind of like a little bit of, like, plaidish kind of cross-pattern thingy going on there. I do like labels. I usually like the Other Half labels. They tend to be a little bit hipstery, but they're from Brooklyn. That's what those Brooklyn people do. So, wafts of flavor. Wafts of flavor so far. So let's do this. Usually pretty good at this, so hopefully we don't butcher the shit out of this. So, give this a pour. Calm down there, buddy. I don't think I poured them all that different. Over here we have the base, and by base I mean the one without the raspberries and the cocoa nibs. That one's on there. So my right, raspberries, cocoa nibs. Left, no raspberries, cocoa nibs. So yeah, a little bit bigger head on that one. Actually, a little bit different head as far as just construction goes. This is very tight and compact over here on the right, and as you can see, it's pretty much dissipating super quickly. This is hella more rocky, super rocky, and this doesn't seem like it wants to go anywhere all that soon. So even though I did pour them slightly different, I wasn't that far off, and I feel like the heads are just completely different to begin with. The head on this one, I was going to say looked a little bit darker, but I think it's just how tiny it is, and the fact that this one's been sticking around just looks a little bit different. And they're dark. I mean, they're imperial stouts. What do you want? You know, they're about as dark as you're going to get for beers in general. So, you know, science. So let's get a nose on our base first. And again, I keep saying base. You know, you have red wine barrels and birch staves and cognac and all that stuff going on. So see what we can get on this sucker. This smells fucking awesome. Yeah, just rich. I'm having a hard time just kind of grasping the amount of sweetness going on here. And I don't mean that in a way that's like candy, like it's almost like an adult desserty kind of sweetness. You're getting this beer, which is the most important thing, which is pretty fucking cool. Getting roasted malts. And you're getting, I want to say you're getting that cognac more than you actually are getting a red wine barrel, but there's a bit of kind of earthy kind of mustiness to it underneath all of it. So even though it's kind of sweet over top with the malt and the high ABV of the beer and the cognac kind of floating in there, the brandy cognac, you do get this kind of earthy kind of mustiness underneath it. So yeah, cherries abound. A little bit of soft red grapes are in there. Nice sweet chocolatey, non-bittering roasted malts. I mean, it wouldn't be bitter. This much sweetness going on in the nose based off of that booze. But yeah, she smells pretty damn nice. Let's get this one going. Wow, completely different nose. Wow, way more, I don't want to say jammy, but more earthy, almost like a wild beer. I don't think it's infected, and if it is, it's at its early stages, but I'm getting almost like a wild vibe from it, like a funky, wild, yeasty vibe from it, as opposed to just a base beer. A lot less sweet, a lot more drier. It reminds me of those kind of like candies, those kind of jellied candies you'd get in your grandma's chocolate candy box. And there'd always be that one kind of like spicy, jammy one that wasn't overly sweet. It was a bit more kind of earthy and kind of tarty. That's the kind of fruitiness I get off this one. But way less sweet, more like your darker, adulty, candied flavors, your darker fruits, your darker chocolates, things like that. So markedly different noses, which is, I get it with the raspberries and the cocoa nibs, but I didn't think it would drown out that sweetness as much. Again, like I said, this head has settled out in such a way that you could see it being kind of a little bit of a weird yeast thing, but we're going to find out. So let's go with the base first. Cheers. Okay. Definitely sweet. Definitely sweet. Not nearly as robust outside of the sweetness as I thought it would be. The beer's there. You get a nice roasted malt, a bit of bittering from it, a little bit of bitter astringency too. It's got to be pretty big if it's fighting through all these flavors. So you get that. You definitely get the brandy in there, that cognac. It's big, it's sweet, it's a little bit boozy. I'm getting a little bit of dryness from the oak, kind of whether it be from the original kind of wine barrel or those birch staves. Definitely there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sweet, nice, not overtly dense, not the thickest beer I ever had in my life, but at the same time, nice density to it. Nice. Getting some coffees now out of that too. So yeah, sweet, but a little bit underwhelming as far as the other flavors kind of being cohesive. They're all there, but they're kind of singular. Let's see what this one has me worried a little bit over here. That's tasty. That is tasty. Man, talk about jamminess. Those raspberries just pop in there. Carbonation is almost gone. I don't mind it that much, to be perfectly honest with you, though. Because that raspberry is so fun. I feel like you are getting a little bit more soft chocolate out of it. Almost like a powdery kind of chocolate vibe off of it. That cognac is way smaller. That wine barrel mustiness that I kind of got a little bit in this, and I didn't really speak of in the taste, but I got more in the nose. Really not there. In here, it's kind of overpowered by those raspberries, and they're huge in such a beautiful way. I'm a sucker for raspberry in a stout, so take that for what it is. You know what I mean? I could be totally biased on this, but it's a really nice kind of real jamminess to it, as opposed to like a syrup or kind of candy-like kind of raspberry. Yeah. No, that's good. And this is a delicious beer, but it seems like all the other flavors kind of rounded out in this one. Like all the flavors that were in here rounded out, became a bit more cohesive, smaller but cohesive in this one. So it's not as vibrant on the cognac, on the roasted malt, on all that front. They're more muted over here, more rounded. That raspberry is so much bigger, but it works. It's not out too big. To the point where it just kind of makes this one just that much better. This is the winner in the book for me. This is an ager. I'm a big proponent of aging barrel-aged beers. More specifically, multiple ingredient barrel-aged beers. But I think this one might do a little bit better with a bit of time on her. And I think this one is primed and ready to drink. I would fear that raspberry falling off, because that's the winner of the show here. It might turn into something even better. It could go sideways and turn into something funky. I don't know. If I had 5 bottles to age, I would let you all know, but I only have the one. But yeah, super fun experiment. 2 markedly different beers, only with 2 ingredient difference. So yeah, it was a fun little gig to do here. So that's the fun part about doing these. That's why I always want to do them side by side to see the stark differences. I think that's pretty much it, though. Sweet cognac-y booziness, roasted malts, great mustiness, dryness. The sweetness, like I said, it's a different sweetness. I shouldn't say a much smaller sweetness, but more rounded. All those flavors that were in here, a bit more rounded, a bit more softer. And that cocoa nib adds like kind of like a powdered cocoa kind of vibe to it that gives this cool textural mouthfeel. And then raspberries out the asshole. And that's what seals it for me. This one is definitely my favorite of the 2. So let's talk about it. Are these 2 of the better imperial stouts that I've had? Barrel aged with a bunch of shit going on. Imperial stouts that I've had as of late. Yes, on this one. This one's all right. Better than all right. Why am I shitting on it? This one's really good. It's nice. Is it going to be in that conversation? I don't know. I've had that many. But, the raspberries win a day on this one for me. So I'm going to say yes on this one. Value and availability. Again, they were given to me. Actually, I might have paid for them, but I don't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember what they were. And availability and price, I'm not quite sure. If somebody wants to chime in, that's great. But they're other half bottles, so they're probably anywhere between $18 and $22 a pop in the 500 milliliter format. Sorry. But here's the thing. I've seen these. I've seen these on shelves as of late. When I travel into upstate New York to Orange County to go to certain bottle shops, I've seen other half stouts on shelves. So it's starting to creep out there. It's starting to become a beer that you don't have to go to the brewery for. So take that for what it's worth. I saw it at 3 different places too. It's not like one place is bootlegging it. So anyway, and just say, if you like, what will you like these? If you like your booze forward, your brandy forward, your cognac forward barrel aged stouts, you definitely want to go with this one, especially if you like that kind of booze component, along with having that wood kind of play a big part. This one, you're all about that fruitiness. You're all about that jamminess in your darker beers. I'm talking about, raspberry reduction from Pipeworks. I'm talking about your old school PB&J from Framing Hammer, not the newer ones. If you like that super over-the-top kind of jamminess, fruitiness in your stout, then this one is the one you want to go for. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as much as I did. If you didn't, or whatever, down there, let me know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers, in all 4 of those places if you want to check me out anywhere else. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little side-by-side of some variant darkness. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.